this time, I'd like everyone to pause and seek guidance, please. And now we'll do the reading of the mission statement. To provide, promote, or facilitate municipal services that meet the community needs by preserving, supporting, and enhancing quality of life for all. The next is the approval of the agenda. Is there any errors or deletions? Is there any additions or deletions?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Is there a seconder?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carries. Is Kathleen? So it's just going to be you? Oh, okay. So we're going to have a presentation from the Digby Family Resource Center, and Trish Ryan is going to be the presenter. So could I have someone move for her to come forward to speak?
Motion to move Trish Ryan to present.
And is there a seconder?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. You're welcome to do it again anytime.
Okay. As Linda said, my name is Tricia Ryan, and I work at the Family Center, and we're at number 1 Birch Street, just down by the convenience store. To start off with, I'd just like to let you know that all our programs are free of charge. There's no charge for anything that the participants do here. Confidentiality is a big thing. When they come to our programs, they can open up to us and know that unless it's harmful to someone or to themselves, we won't release. Kathleen Harris is our site coordinator. She does a group called Connections. It's a group intervention for mothers and children experiencing violence in relationships. Olivia Cromwell, our administrative assistant, youth programmer. She does with the youth. She does anger management. She does control issues, communication skills, self-esteem, body image, anxiety, and helps them develop ways they can achieve their goals and work on their life skills. Ann Cook is with us. She does creative crafts weekly. It's a big hit. They get together, older teens and adults. They enjoy knitting, crocheting, painting, whatever kind of craft that they do, quilting and sewing. This is something that was done during COVID. I'd just like to show you. It's a COVID quilt that participants, we put little patches of quilt together in bags and sanitized everything during COVID, and they picked them up with the needle and the thread, and they made patches, and then we wrote in the squares. Good time.
That's a historical document.
Yep. And we have the COVID germ there.
Oh. Yep.
And virus, worldwide, crazy, family center, community spread, screening, all the self-quarantine, the basic bubble, and all the little perks we had to go through. So that was something they're very proud of. We have that hanging on the wall at the center.
Now, is each person who was a part of it, did they sign it as well, or no?
No, but we are I think we're going to do that on the back and just let everybody know who did what or who did some of the patches. So, yeah. When they come in, they're very proud of that, of what they've done, and you know that it's displayed. They've done quilts for cancer patients at the Cancer Center in Halifax, and they're doing hats for the newborns, knitting hats for the preemies and the newborns for the IWK. They just sent a bunch of those out to the IWK. So, she also helps with our child care area and our baby group. So, and then there's Trish Brown. She's our after-school program coordinator. She does Weymouth School Monday and Wednesday, and Digby Tuesday and Thursday. Her program is it's a closed group. It's just chosen by the teachers for the kids that need it the most. They get help with their homework. They do fun educational activities such as science, use of math skills, reading skills, and the ability to follow direction. Physical they promote that by outside activities and playtime. She does outreach at Digby Net Consolidated on Fridays, called Fun Fridays. And she does the science experiments and all that with them, and the teachers get in on it, and they just have a great time. We do have a walking group once in a while when the participants want to get out and get some exercise, so we do that, weather permitting. Before I forget, I'll just let you know, we are under the umbrella of the South Shore Family Resource Association, so we're the Digby site from the South Shore. Our executive director, Heather Fraser, is located in Bridgewater. I do the adult programming. I do personal development, which is self-esteem, building healthy relationships, stress management, and anger management. I've done spa days, self-care days, and I do skill developing, which is cooking, budgeting, organizational skills. I also do a rainbows program, and I don't know if you've heard of it or not. It's a grieving program, and it's from children right through to seniors. Whether you've had a death or any kind of loss, maybe you had to move away from your home. Maybe you're here in the province and you have any friends, like, you know, you had to leave everything behind. Maybe you've lost your house in a fire. It's just whatever you need to grieve over. I've had quite a few kids that do it. It's hard to do it. They want you to do it in a group, but in small communities, it's very hard. So I've been doing a lot one-on-one with the kids, and I've done probably 10 adults so far. So it's a very good program. And Annie, Warren, and Ian Cook also do that one. I also do parenting. I do Nobody's Perfect. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 parents. Active parenting for teens, for parents, and for step-parents. Anything that the moms might want, like toilet training tips, understanding and parenting your toddlers. And kids have stress too. That's a big program they like to have. And the grandparenting. We've noticed that in the last few years there's been a lot of grandparents that are looking at their grandchildren. And they're finding it hard. So we have classes with them. They bring the kids, leave the kids in the child care area, sit and have coffee, talk whatever they want to talk about, get tips on whatever. Everything has changed so much from when, say, my kids were little to what they are now. Like, things have changed a lot of what they do with babies and stuff now. So they find it hard. We give them assistance in helping them with travel to get to the programs or whatever they need. Annie Warren is our Parenting Journey Home Visitor. It's a volunteer program, and it provides support to families to build their strength, identify their challenges, and support them in making connections with our other community supports and services. Parents self-refer to this program, or they're referred by other service providers. She does group classes, or she can also do one-on-one. Strengthening Families, Crossroads, which is a program for co-parenting between separation and divorce, how not to put your child in the middle, parenting a defiant child and options to anger. She can't go to the home if the parents can't bring the kids to her or whatever. She's a also home visitor. So then we have Michaela Delaney. She's our Healthy Parent, Healthy Baby support. She does prenatal information sessions, breastfeeding support, pre and postnatal nutrition support and information, car seat safety support. She's the technician, infant massage information, home visiting, and she supports the parents and the baby until the baby's 6 months of age. Then it can go to the baby group, and then we have baby group, toddler group, perfect 3s, endless 4s and 5s, and so on, until they start school. Right now, Nadine Tim is our Islands Outreach. She does chill and chat sessions. She does use cooking classes, walking groups. whatever they may want, she'll put a notice out, you know, what would you like to do, what would you like to see us do? It's no good to have a program that nobody wants. So we try to reach out to we all try to reach out to the participants to see what they'd like to have. Right now, we have no childcare person. She just left us for another job. So there's a posting for that on our Facebook page. And that includes baby group, the Terrific 3, Fabulous 4s and 5s, and we do a transition to school for the 5-year-old and toddler group. For the community networking, it's through Schools Clubs and Turning the Tides right now. Supporting families with gas cards, taxi fare if they need it to get to doctor's appointments, to programming. We have food gift cards for parents in need, and we have food boxes. All through COVID, we had a group from the valley, I'm not sure what they were called, but they cooked meals and froze them, and we had so much food that we could take to families. All they had to do was heat it up. It was amazing. Amazing. So, we've done really well with the food box. We're not a food bank, but we do have food for emergencies. And if the food bank's closed or whatever, they need food, we can support them. Supporting community partners. We have 2 meeting rooms, free of charge. All you guys do is call and book when you want them. If anybody needs a room, you meet in. One's quite large. One knows. So yeah, and we have lots of COVID tests. They've been calling for COVID tests through COVID, and I think somebody just came today for some. And our door is now open. So hopefully we'll get back on track now that COVID is staying on our toes. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you for coming. When you were at the rink, didn't realize all the stuff that you guys do. It's really good to know.
It's hard to just sit and tell you everything.
It is.
We have access to so many programs.
Yeah.
And, you know, all we need is just one person to say, I need this, and we'll do it. If we have it, we'll do it. Because we'll do it one-on-one if we have to. If nobody else shows, wants it, one-on-one. Yeah.
Fudge, your group certainly provides a lot of services that I didn't know you did.
Yeah.
The one about the school where the kids, is that for, can parents also attend them like after school? Or is that just for kids?
That's just for the kids, yeah. I think she has during the end of the school year, sometimes she'll do a parent-child thing together, and the kids tell the parents. Yeah. It's from grades 4 to 6 also, I didn't mention that. And like I said, they're chosen by the parents. It's the kids that need it the most to get a little extra help with homework or need that little interaction with instructions on how to do a craft or do a science experiment. Oh, she's blown things up. Well, not blown things up, but like volcanoes and everything. She loves it. And that kid loves the experience. So do the teachers.
Any other questions or concerns or comments?
Have you seen any, like with the Ukrainians coming in that are up at the Wallace Park and stuff? Have you seen any of those?
Not yet.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they may be able to they have children and stuff.
Yeah.
They might give them a chance to get them into some of these programs and give them a chance to look for work or do some of the things they're finding challenges to do because they don't have a vehicle.
Our child care area is, you have to be on the premises to have your child in child care unless you're desperate and need, sometimes if you need to go to a lawyer's appointment or a doctor's appointment and you have no other child care, then it can be made possible. It's very seldom.
Okay. I just asked you. I met a family from Zimbabwe.
Okay.
And they found work in the area, and then in transition and bringing their kids in, so it's good to know all this stuff, because, you know, we take a lot of things for granted, because we raised here, you know, but now that we have all these new people moving in, it's nice to know, because they don't have a grandparent, they don't have family,
No.
so it's, what do you do? Like,
It's support for them.
Yeah.
We also do it's called Strengthening Families, usually in the fall, probably next fall, if everything's opened up and without COVID. We provide, I think it's 3 or 4 families. We cook a meal, supper time. They get to sit with their children. They eat the meal, talk about their day. Kids go in one room, parents go in another. And the kids do talk about stuff and do crafts and stuff, and the parents are facilitated by someone about what their difficulties are with the children and stuff. Then they come together and they tell each other what they've learned, and that goes on for a few weeks. Yeah, once a week. And it's a time for them to just sit down and have a meal, and which usually a lot of times it doesn't happen. Talk about your day, have a meal together. Yeah, and that's, like I say, it's all free. Yeah. And if there's older kids, childcare. They can get in the childcare area and play with the littler kids.
Yeah.
You know, because certainly, I'm not sure the ages. But it's a great program.
Sure.
If you know of anybody that's looking for a childcare job.
Sure.
Yeah.
They have to be
I think on the job description, I think if they're looking for an ECE, early educator.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I wondered.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what the program was.
We have a Facebook page that's on there. I was going to print it off and bring it, and I forgot. I'm just back to work Monday. I've had 3 months off, so I'm a little like, what do I do? What's everybody doing now? I have to tell them.
You're gonna be too spoiled.
I know.
The family resource is, like I said, my grandchild's there.
Yeah.
And he really likes it.
Before,
Especially if he's the only boy and they're all girls.
oh, before COVID, we had, for baby group, we had, I would say, between 18, 25 babies, plus their parents. We had to expand and open up another room to them. And it was getting so they were crying for me because they could see me from where they were gated in. And I'm like, I have to close my office door. And then one would cry so hard for me that she'd have to run around the office and see what office I was in to find me. And he's just like, now it's like he's probably 3, 4 now. He wouldn't know me. But we're starting to get back. We had 6 babies this morning. And we have a dad, a single dad that brings his baby.
That's good.
Yeah, and he enjoys it, really enjoys it. He doesn't mind being there with the women. Actually, we have 2 single dads. So yeah, we're trying to get help them with parenting and get them situated with their little ones.
Well, on behalf of council, I want to thank you very much for coming and informing us of what's going on with the programs and services. I know once in a while I get an invitation to come in, and I like to go and snoop around, I guess is the word. And sometimes I'm just down there for other reasons.
Yeah.
Someday I'm going to take up on learning how to use a sewing machine. That's a goal of mine. We've only been on it for 7 years. We had the time to go.
I can just tell you one story. When we first started, we only had the downstairs. There's like 7 or 8 workers, and we had women coming in making quilts. And this one girl came in, she had 2 toddlers and a newborn. She wanted to make a lap quilt. I have a picture of her sitting to the sewing machine, feeding the baby, the 2 toddlers on either side, and she's just happy as can be. It ended up being a queen-size quilt. She started it with a lap quilt.
It's rather neat.
Yeah, so. But now we've moved up, the offices are upstairs and downstairs is all childcare. And we do a lot with the cooking class.
You do a lot of cooking classes?
Yeah, I do the basic shelf cooking, and they usually get a slow cooker when they're done.
Is that like what Mrs. Journey used to do? Up at the arena?
I'm not sure.
They used to come in and do like a 10-week program, learn how to cook all these meals in a crock pot.
Yeah.
At the end of it, you get to.
Yeah. Each week I would have a little gift for them each week, like some dishcloths or some spatulas or, containers. And then at the end they get to take some home with them. What they cooked and the basic shelf, and I think they get to take. I buy their ingredients and they take it home and make it. So
You know that?
yeah, I do it with them, and then they get to take it home and try it themselves. So it's good.
The learning experience.
Yeah, and it's amazing how many young people took me out of school.
Old people too.
I had one girl, she was so excited, she came and she said, I cooked potatoes last night. And I said, oh, how did they turn out? Not too good. I said, what did you do? I peeled them, I washed them, and I put them in water and put them on the stove. I said, okay. She said, 5 minutes later, I tried to mash them. They were too hard. I said, no, you have to cook them longer than 5 minutes. She said, I know, I cooked them a little longer. She said, and I mashed them, but man, were they watery? I'm like, what? I said, did you drain the water off? No, you have to. Like, just never talk, right? They don't know. One didn't know how to turn the vacuum on. Or knew she had to plug it in. It's skills that they're just not getting at home. So, or, whatever. But some of the stories are funny, and she comes back and she's like, do you want me to cook you some potatoes? Okay.
Well, again, thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you for
and
having
hope
me.
you have a good day and drive careful.
Thank you. It's hard to believe we've been there 8 years and not everybody still doesn't know what we do.
Yeah, some.
Yeah, some people know some.
But I don't know, I didn't know all those things that's there. I was looking at them on the weekend. Trying to think what I could get into.
Well, come on in. We'll get your sewing machine going.
I've only been 7 years waiting, so that's another year or two.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a nice
Drive
evening.
careful.
Yeah.
The next are the minutes of July 26th. Is there any errors or omissions?
Motion to approve minutes of July 26th.
Is there a seconder?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. I'd like to have approval of the minutes of August the 9th, 2022.
I'll move the approval of the minutes of August 9th.
Is there a seconder?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Unfinished business from the minutes of July 26th. Is there any? Anyone wants to bring forward? Okay, is there any unfinished business of the minutes of August 9th? Anyone would like to bring forward? All right, the next then is the CAO report. Meeting reminders, Public Works. There's October the 4th, 5 o'clock TIR, 6 o'clock bylaw and policy. October the 11th, Committee of the Whole. October the 18th, the audit. October the 25th is council. November the 1st, There's gonna be no meeting because some of us are at the NSFM conference. Please make sure you're getting registered if you're going and book your hotel. Yes, sir?
So as you can see, November 1st, we canceled that bylaw policy. So reviewing, because this month is combined following TIR, I'm wondering what the room's feeling would be. So on November 8th, we have a committee of the whole meeting. And those meetings are generally quite short.
Yeah, they are.
We could have a bylaw and policy. We could do our best to keep it to an hour as well. And that way we could squeeze one in. We just, bylaw and policy, that's like the strategic plan, some of those things. It's going to create, if we skip a full month, it's going to create too big a bylaw and policy for December. And like I say, we're already under time constraints for October.
Yeah, I love the idea of doing two birds with one stone rather than two separate 120-kilometer rounds.
So we'll do that. We'll send out the invite and change that. If everyone's good with that.
That sounds great.
Right? The next is November 15th, no meeting. November 22nd will be council. November 29th, no meeting. And December the 6th is the bylaw and policy at 5 p.m. Next is, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Is action items from previous meetings. Does anyone get anything to ask? Okay, now vote on the updates on the capital project of 2022-2023.
We're moving along quite well through a lot of the capital projects. Were kind of summer oriented. I think Tyler and his departments have been busy, and I think even the next update, there's a few more of those I think that are underway or coming. So yeah, we're getting lots of those kind of projects that are seasonal have gone quite well.
I've become highly aware of the costs at the airport. Yeah. It's like $10. Why do they spend $10 out there? Sorry.
Yes.
I don't know why. It's more than ever.
$10?
I'm thinking.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, 38,000.
What's the latest update on the internet? Where are they working? What have they got completed? And any idea?
I have
No.
received no update on any of the work in the area, and I don't think I've seen vehicles. I think the activity that I'm aware of, I think mainland is active on the island.
Yeah, they're putting it
I
all
don't
together.
believe I'm seeing Bell activity, and for updates, because the deadlines for develop are so far out, Bell and Develop aren't providing updates. They're just saying those projects aren't scheduled to be done until, I think everything left is 2023.
They're offering a real good deal to the Islanders too. I'm really pleased with it. It's no rip off at all.
No, that's good.
Yeah, really pleased.
Now, I think the work down in your area, I think is just about done. It's the last phase projects.
Yeah, but I hadn't seen many vehicles or trucks around, like anywhere they, so we're just wondering if they.
No, we have seen no sign of
Fall.
the phase 3 work. I don't believe has started in this area.
Any other questions of Jeff? Hearing none. Financial report of July and August 2022. Any questions, concerns?
I'll move acceptance of the financial report for July 2022.
For the seconder? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Another one then. August.
Motion to accept the August 2022 financial report.
Is there a seconder?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Standing committees, bylaw and policy recommendation. The first one is to move to adopt the bylaw to repeal bylaws. I need someone to move that,
I
please.
move to adopt the bylaw to repeal bylaws.
Is there a seconder? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion carried. The next is the sick leave policy.
Move to approve sick leave policy 5.005 as revised with the specs change to occur just under the medical appointment section, 3 days change to 2 days under the illness or injury indemnification section.
Is there a seconder?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. marketing levy bylaw.
Oh, wait, there's still the short-term disability.
I move to
Oh,
cancel
sorry.
the short-term disability benefit coverage for municipal staff.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. The marketing, levy bylaw,
I move to adopt the marketing levy bylaw.
is there a seconder?
I'll second that.
David, didn't you move it?
Yeah, I did. I didn't say it second, but you did.
Oh, well, I apologize. I thought you said second too. I was gonna say.
Should be saw my voice.
That's it.
That's what it must have been. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. The community safety net,
I move to help 15 kids for $225 this year to the safety initiative for kids conducted by the Digby Volunteer Fire Department.
can I ask a question which is gonna sound awful? Should it say 15 children, even though it's called the kids line? I'm just asking.
I think kids is still.
Acceptable?
Yeah, I
Well,
never heard of one.
All
I
the
feel like
kids
I'm
line.
fairly tuned into these things.
No, that's why I was
Teenagers.
I was only asking because I just wanted to make sure.
But that's what it's called, the kids line.
I say kids is good. It's not the kids.
Okay, no, I'll just ask. And who was the seconder?
Also,
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. The next is the Scallop Days funding request.
I move we send a letter responding to Scallop Days advising that there will be no grant issued, but instead we will purchase $500 worth of tickets if the event takes place.
All those in favor? Oh, sorry,
Second.
second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Just remind you,
I thought we had another bylaw.
no, these ones are from the bylaw and
Oh,
policy.
from before. Yeah.
Yeah, now we're going to go to the committee of the whole recommendations. So remember, all these have been at meetings discussed. They can still be discussed again. The next is the committee of the whole proposed motion.
I move to send a letter to the Minister of Environment, MLA, Jill Balser, to request a moratorium on glyphosate herbicide spraying. Should we say aerial spraying? Should that be, I'm gonna, I know we discussed it before, but it seems everybody says aerial when I looked at the other spots, and a lot of the discussion is on it being sprayed. So I'd like to modify that, if that's okay with everybody, for it to be aerial.
You're making the motion.
I move to send a letter to the Minister of Environment, MLA, Jill Balser, request a moratorium glyphosate herbicide aerial spraying.
Okay.
I'll second that.
George, and then Matthew.
like it's on our agenda for later, well, that's recommendation. Oh, okay, no, it's recommendation, I thought it was discussion.
So this is the time to discuss it.
I added the spraying too. I mentioned that because I thought it would make it a little easier for both of you possibly to agree with us. It was just also a part of my thinking.
Okay, I'm gonna let George ask his questions or comments. Go
No,
ahead,
it's
George.
just, no, I saw the, I didn't see it on the recommendation. No, just everything I read and looked at was, farmers use it for weeds, they use it for helping to, ripen up crops faster, anything you can get at the grocery store has probably been sprayed or got herbicide from it. Not that I'm for it, but I don't think we're gonna be able to stop it. There's nothing wrong with sending a letter to Jill and letting her know that we're against it. But it's so widely used by the agricultural industry, and I don't agree with it myself for spraying swaths of timberland to kill certain plants.
That seems to be specifically what this is used for around here. I haven't heard anything about it being used
So
for
no,
commercial.
I have no problem writing a letter to Jill.
Matthew?
I did some research on it too, and I don't know, it's not the municipality. I heard the municipality give direction to the province to say, stop it completely. I, as a councillor, do not know enough about glyphosate herbicide to know if it's supposed to be banned or whatever. What I'd like to see though is maybe rescind this and change it to maybe ask the province to review the practices and policies that have dated back to 1994. When I did the research for the environment down in Merrimack, a lot of it is very outdated, and I'd like to see a review of that. And I think asking the province to do that is better than just saying you have to stop this, you have to stop that. I think we'll get somewhere with it. I'm not saying I'm against the herbicide or for it, but I do have some questions.
You can make a separate motion, but
Yes, we
It
can,
doesn't,
after this one's dealt with.
for all the stuff that I've watched and read, it's not good stuff. But
No.
on the other hand, it's like anything else. If used properly, it's all right. But I want to make sure that it's all right, that people are out there checking these places to make sure that it's being put on that land properly. And like somebody called me the other day and said, well, they're supposed to aerial spray on Sunday. Well, I can guarantee you, they aerial sprayed on Sunday.
they broke the law.
All of Nova Scotia got it because it was blowing 35 miles an hour everywhere or more. So I think it would be better if the province here say that than.
So the thing is, this is a motion on, people can vote it for or against it. Then, if you want another motion can be made.
I like what you're saying, but it is not, it's the mid-90s, it's quite dated.
Yeah.
You know, I was young and skinny back in those days, that's how long ago it was. All right, why not have a second
Well,
motion?
excuse me,
Makes sense?
No, is there any other comments on this motion? Then, all in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Motion carried. Now,
Change
you
your
wish
mind
to
the
put a
last
motion
second.
on?
For this one,
Oh, this one.
Yeah, I would like to motion
Oh,
that, we send a letter to the Minister of Environment and Jill, our MLA Jill Balzer, to review, policies and findings from the 1994, 1995, policies that I see.
To review and maybe update?
An update.
Environmental, herbicide and pesticide policies, is that maybe
Yeah.
not be the way to word it?
Oh, actually, that's very good, Jeff.
Can I just, before this motion and debate starts, so just making sure I understand, so we're looking to send two separate letters?
Yes,
To the same people
Yes.
on the same subject?
yes. So in other words, if they don't want to do a moratorium, we're asking them to at least.
And no one else sees where we could have two paragraphs in the same letter
Similar to, yeah,
To-
similar to an
to work
So,
on? I think we
Well,
gotta,
I say we
I think we gotta
combine the two,
massage the
we
first
combine
motion.
that, yeah.
If we're gonna look to send two letters
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the same day to the same two people,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think we either have to rescind or amend.
All right, I'm
that
gonna
first
rescind my
motion.
motion, and then I'm gonna
No,
We've already voted on that.
We voted on that one.
Yeah.
So what we can do an amendment to that motion.
Now there's some experience.
Okay.
Good job.
So,
Amend the motion, Matthew.
so, actually, I'm just going through my brain on how to amend it. That we send a letter to the minister,
And, just add
and, does that work?
It works for me, I'm making
Yeah.
sure that
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
people voting
Yeah.
on it here is the
Move
tricky
to
part.
send a
So
letter to
we,
Mr.
so the
Environment.
amendment would be, we're doing a little backwards because we should have voted on the amendment first. But,
Yeah.
so what we're doing is making yours an amendment,
Mhm.
and it would be and. Look at it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to everyone?
Mhm.
So let's vote now
Mhm.
on that amendment.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll made it, I'll
You-
second it.
And, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried.
Right there.
Now there's another motion made on the whole thing, again, without it's been amended.
Okay, yeah.
Now we have
Like I said, we're doing a
to
little
make a
backwards here.
motion to send a letter to the Minister of Environment and MLA Jill Balzer to request a moratorium on glyphosate herbicide spraying,
Aerial.
aerial glyphosate herbicide spraying, and to review policies and practices that date back to 1990.
Of the herbicide and pesticide.
Herbicide and
Regulations.
pesticides.
Okay. Seconder?
I'll second
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carries.
Surprised Pat's head hasn't exploded.
Technically, the motion, then, before we had voted, we should have did the amendment, but we've done the amendment to add to the motion, then we had to do a motion to accept both of those as the amended motion.
Okay, now I've learned something today.
Now you're gonna amend motions all the time?
No, we're not. I mean, yes, we can if people want to.
Yeah, there we go.
Feel like I did that, thank you. The next, fire reduction,
Property tax, yep, fire.
okay.
Counselor Thurber?
Yeah.
Your hand, please.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
And I know I'm a little bit confused, I mean, everything was happening there so fast, and I'm not sure if the letter's gonna make sense to me.
We're asking them to put a moratorium on and
Yeah.
review. And go through a review of what's happening.
Yeah, because they're,
Okay, but there's a moratorium.
You still
yeah, we
have to
still
do a
review the
review.
regulations.
We
Okay.
want them to do a review so that they know what they can do.
I think it's actually
and can't do.
stronger. Yeah,
Stronger.
I think it's
It really
stronger
is.
with both than it was alone, for sure.
Okay.
We all know what we want.
Yeah,
Just say no.
there's a couple of good asks there, for sure, that would be in favor, your constituents would be very happy with, I think, both of them, I think.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you now? It actually will be a stronger motion.
I found, fine, if I read the letter, I'd be a little bit more confused, but.
No, I think.
What they're saying is we want a moratorium, but we need you to review those regulations. It's time.
Let's stop everything while you look
There's
at it.
more bite to that motion.
Just stop.
I think just by saying stop,
You don't
rather
have
than
to
say
stop
look at that letter,
No,
throw it in
ignore it
there.
anyway.
This way, there's a little bit more going, okay, they want us to review this, and I think we kind of heard from Jill last week, that
Yeah.
is probably somewhere where they're gonna go with this, and that's good.
It looks like they're looking at it for sure.
Okay, under business items, 4.1 fire reduction, Snyder. This comes from Nicole Robbins, and she's requesting a property tax reduction due to fire damage. So, we need a motion to accept.
That's your writing. I move that we accept the property tax reduction on AAN 070155542. To $171 from previous $520.
Does that cover everything we need?
I think that's what it is, isn't it? The taxes prior or after that?
Okay, is there a seconder?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. The next one is the fire reduction on Malay property. And again, it's a recommendation from Nicole.
The property tax, I move property tax reduction due to fire damage, AAN 0499582 Paul Malay, from $432 to $72.
That's just, June 26th. All, any seconders?
Second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. The next is the Nova Scotia Department of Agriculture, and we saw the Weed Control Act. You also saw what they are looking at.
Yeah, I thought this was interesting, only for agricultural, so doesn't have not a big impact on us, I don't think.
Well,
There's lots of noxious plants around though.
Yes, Jeff?
I would agree. I think this is minimal impact. This is just the province has heard loud and clear over the past years about its lack of consulting with municipalities. So this is just, when we ask for that, we get it on all sorts of different
Things that
topics.
normally we wouldn't. I like it.
So that this would fit potentially in that category.
I don't mind. Better than to bore me with something not related than have something important to be missed.
Anyone have any concerns with the proposed changes? So do we send back that we agree with the proposed changes?
I think you only send back comments if you have concerns.
So does anyone have any concerns? Then we will accept. The next is the Atlantic Canada 48-hour film project. This came in on Thursday morning. And because it was time sensitive, I brought it forward.
Where is that on the?
I do not know a lot about it.
I read it.
Yeah, it was under,
Correspondence, maybe?
no, it's under business item,
Okay.
number 4.4. Atlantic Canada's 48-hour film project.
$3,000, right? If I remember correctly.
But remember, it's the weekend of October 28th to 30th. They're going to do the premiere at the Pines on November the 12th. The winning film that night will move to compete against the best in the world in LA next spring at the something, I can't read it from here. Thank you. All with these winners moving on to again to screen the Cannes Festival in France, which is a very well-known festival there. So, and it's her goal to bring class events to rural communities, make Digby a filmmaking and screening location to help the cultural life of residents, and envisions we finally support $3,000 to help cover the related costs and the awards. There was no budget, and that was my concern. I didn't see a budget, and
It kind of messes things up a little bit.
Well, that was my concern too, plus 1,000 of the 3,000 was used for cash prize, which isn't what we use our community grants money for in policy, so.
Cash prizes, yes.
So-
They sort of talked themselves out of it. I would have been interested in, if there'd been a budget and stuff like that, $1,000, but we can't make the process of, we always ask for a budget.
I guess if we sent a letter back saying if you want to call municipality, there's some guidance on how to fill out our community grants form with a budget and find something that they can use money towards, I don't know, but.
well, I guess if,
Can't be prize money.
no,
No.
what we, could do is ask,
Is there a sponsorship?
see, our next meeting is October the 4th, but I guess it's not really too late, that we could make a decision if they wanted to go through the grants program. Would that be a possibility, our CCA?
It would be a possibility. The grants program continues to be drawn down through the year, but obviously of our pools, that's where it would have to come from.
Because I'd like to know actually what their budget is.
Yeah.
The budget's $3,000.
Well,
They're asking us for $3,000. Are they asking the town for any? Are they asking the province for any?
Yeah, those sorts of
What's
questions,
the,
yeah.
is it,
They were not, I don't say, no, I think this is an interesting thing, it's just that they last minute
I
kind of
need
thing,
to know,
yeah.
I need to know more.
Yeah, just, not even a lot more, just the basic minimum.
So budget and other funding, like
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
time constraints, I do have some
Yeah.
concerns on the full grant application.
Yeah.
So if we can get a budget and who else they've asked for funding,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, could we do that online, or we just have to wait till the 4th?
Oh, wait till the 4th. Next week.
You're right, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought we can't do prize money, but maybe it's specific.
All right. The next is the information items correspondence. The county of Annapolis is going to ask for a moratorium on aerial herbicide spraying. And we happen to be already looking at it ourselves. So. Any comments on that correspondence? Hearing none, we will move on to the advisory committee minutes reports. Nothing was listed here, or other council committees. So we will go down to the joint intermunicipal committee minutes report. The first was the Atlantic Mayor's Congress of May. Any questions or concerns?
Did you go to that in person, or was that online?
No, that was in person.
Because I remember the year before it was online.
They have the seating arrangements right there, she sat by herself in the corner. Everybody's asked for that.
It's the only one there.
No, that's just the way they had the seating arrangements. Okay, any questions for the dark April and July minutes and June and August reports? Just so you know.
Just like to mention to those who are on dark, keep in mind, violence, we like having activities.
Oh, we actually put a big sign up, do not go past.
Yeah, no, that's right, yeah.
Do not go past Pink Cove, is what the sign says.
We're all getting the moors so they can run the ferries
I'm
across.
kind of like that myself, don't go past me, Cove.
No, we always remember, I just wanted to say, we still have not hired a coordinator, to take an events.
Oh,
We need to do one, that's right.
And, we had one set of interviews, and the person that they picked did not want it. And so I'm sure that's the right one, I'm hoping on saying.
Yeah.
So they have done another set, for this October 28th, 29th or something. And then hopefully by November, we will be able to tell you who we have hired. Personally, I just think we should have hog-tied Kara and Pepper, but it made it a lot easier. The Digby, Highway October 2020 minutes. Since then, we have had a meeting, and there is a meeting coming up, October the 4th. The King's Transit buses, you all saw, we sold our old bus.
How much do we get?
$6,500 plus $1,000
How much?
for parts. $6,500.
Close to what we paid.
Yeah, it's almost the same.
The last update we had, we thought we were going to be paying someone to take them, so.
Oh, that's not bad, man, $6,500.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
one did
I
we
mean-
sell?
The Catalytic converter
Not
alone
the
on that was.
old reliable one, the other one.
No.
Oh, the other.
The one that was worth.
Old reliable, still reliable.
Old reliable.
Yeah, we got rid of old unreliable.
Actually, it wasn't that old, that's the thing.
Yeah, new unreliable.
The next was the waste report, check reports, the June minutes and the waste check connections of June, July, and August. Any questions on anything? And the next was the Western Counties Regional Library June minutes, the 2021-2022 annual report and newsletter. Any questions? Okay. Outside board committee minutes reports was the data August meeting notes. Any questions or concerns? Well, hearing none, we will go on. The next is the Atlantic Mayors Congress, the NSFM and the TVSC
Hey, Jimmy, moving on up.
Consultants. Not moving on up.
That's all that you know, man.
So, any questions on those activity reports? Okay, so we're going to then start with the council district report, and I'm going to start over with George. Councilor Manzer, please.
Okay, let's see, dangers and unsightly, problems or whatever, but hopefully there's been dealt with. Meeting with Jill last Friday went very good. Chance to meet her, have contact with her in LA. No power problems in our area over the weekend, so it was very good. And the cancer self-help group from Weymouth to help them organize it. They had a tea, which would have been the first one in the Weymouth area for the last couple of years, and they raised $1,800 to $1,900. People traveling to cancer treatments.
Anything else? Angela?
Seeing like I've been busy this month, but then when I went to write it down, I forgot stuff. Stuff is
Forget.
I did go to New France Electric City Play. I attended the door for the play. It was well attended. It was 3 nights, and it was really good play. I've been working with the Smith Cove Lighthouse Group. I'm really excited about what they're doing. There was a CBC report done on it. I haven't been to the site yet, but I'm anxious. I'm going to be there before this month's over because I've seen the photos and it's really nice. And I'm also impressed with what they've done financially as well, raising funds this summer. I went to the emancipation ceremony in the town of Digby. took the registration for Wharf Rat Rally on Thursday and Friday, which was interesting and very, very busy. I met with, our MLA and Carmen Kerr recently over the aerial spraying with, other residents, and I was impressed with the meeting with Jill the other day. I found that she gave us some information about some things that are happening that I think will be good for this area. I have been meeting with, Rob Hursley and, Dawn Rice, set up a new art bank for the municipality, and that's been interesting. Hopefully it'll be up and running soon, and we have one donation from, Charles Cooper's daughter for one piece of art, and we're looking forward to that coming out later in the fall. I met with Bear River East and Bear River, and so when Jill mentioned about getting maybe the Weymouth food bank and work with the rest of the group, I found that was interesting.
That's on our list.
In Bear River alone, I know there's 3 different groups now, and so that would be nice to have them all
Well,
combined.
free stock for free resources.
Yeah, and, also I've had a lot of community issues with parking and building issues and stuff like that.
Angela,
Yeah.
with the Bear River, with the lighthouse, was there any talk of cutting some of the trees, walking over the river, so when you're coming down from Annapolis, you can actually see it?
Yeah, I don't know if you can or not, I
Yeah,
don't know.
no, that is the plan, they want it to
You
be more
can't see it
visible.
now, I noticed it
Okay.
a couple of weeks ago, because my wife was wondering where it was, and I said, well, we go around the curve here, on the bridge, you'll be able to see it.
Wasn't there?
They actually have cleared.
1 second there, you could see a little bit of the roof, and that was it.
They did a
cut
bit.
a lot of the trees out, they did
Yeah.
save
So it
some.
would be nice, coming down, if you could actually see
Yeah.
it.
Are they good things for TIR tomorrow, or a couple days?
Jeff?
So they have cleared trees looking over the basin. I'm trying to remember what their initial estimate from their arborist was to clear the full site. It was larger than all of the work to repair the lighthouse. So they're doing it in phases. A portion of lighthouse work this year. They've established a small view plane so you can at least see the basin.
Yeah.
Before, it literally looked like a lighthouse in a forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have done a fair bit of work. I do think their plan in the next phase is to clear more trees, just because it's all going down banks
Yeah.
and has been 20+ years of growth. It went from being alders to tree clearing is unfortunately the route where it.
It's just a shame.
But it's looking,
Yeah,
it's improving every time there is.
I'm just so pleased that it's happening after all these years. David is gone, so I'll go to you, Matthew.
Since our last meeting, I attended the grand opening of the Digby Community Gardens. It was well attended, and the grounds looked great. I volunteered on scald days at the marina and barbecued scallops for the evening. Crowds were gathered to watch the shucking contest and listen to music on from it. More proud, I volunteered at the registration tent on Friday night, and met a lot of people from New Brunswick, PEI, and Ontario. And the UP and I had registered close to 150 bikes on our shift. And that's not including my UP and Angela and the others that were there. That was a busy evening. Met with our MLA Joe Balter and our warden Linda Gregory and a group in Brighton about next stages for the Highway 101 task force. Thanks, Linda, for coming to that. And I then met with Minister Joe Balter with Council of the Municipality to go over past, present, and future items. I was supposed to meet with the Minister of Senior Long-Term Care with Don Thomas today. They wanted to go over senior safety program, but because of Fiona, plans were canceled. I've been talking back and forth with Robbie Bays about getting quotes through Efficiency Nova Scotia on heat pumps for the Oakteen Centre. I've also been working with constituents on other issues such as clean energy projects, directing some washed out roads to transportation, and garbage littering issues. I'm busy.
David, your turn.
That a senior in crisis is able to help in difficult situation. Housing is the greatest bunch of people on the face of the earth. I love them. Food bank, we're expanding the reach to other organizations. I have in my own one, but also larger plan that works with Jill Balser. And I gotta say, wow, what an experience having a cabinet minister help you with something. They're like, oh my goodness, what a difference. 10 years of phoning up to feed Nova Scotia. And so much so that the receptionist recognized my voice. From being told no over and over again. And then they stopped even writing back. And so the county minister calls, though, it's a whole different world. And it looks really good. This is something that has the potential to materially benefit a lot of people who are suffering. 10% of the province is food insecure. And we have, in Southwest Nova is pretty close to not served by Feed Nova Scotia. It's slightly, but we're hoping we get a plan. Took a dude to the ER, thought he was going to die. He wasn't. He turns out he's new meds, so good. Ukrainians found a half a dozen jobs and some cheap/free lodging. I only started yesterday looking. I was able to contacted 4 businesses and some human resource departments, and yeah. It looks like there's some ability. That depends if people are interested in work, of course. If these are middle-class people, I don't know how, working at the plant or the pound or banding lobsters, or also there's substitute teaching. There's a substitute teacher shortage. And if they have a university degree, they can get it recognized and they can be a B-list sale. So there might be 5-6 jobs there, maybe even more. We're short over 1,000 substitute teachers. Had somebody with a housing grant. They were ineligible. I called, and the rules were not rock solid. So luckily, they were able to change them a little bit. They weren't. It was more of a guideline in the end when I got a hold of the boss. I had somebody who lost their power. Took 4 tries of 3 different plots. And $1,000 in the end, and then we finally got them their power. Yikes. That was a tough one. That was done with the churches. Having my 9th vaccine clinic coming up. That's on the 13th of October. Staying on the plow school. Little girl wants to go and dance, has no money, so figured it out. Where else are we here? Created an invite list for a title event. Directed somebody to the residency tenancy board for a complaint for a rental. Trying to get answers from the Coast Guard on Westport, not having much luck. We have a nurse practitioner. She's there 3 days a week. I'm chomping at the bit. It's going to be 4 days a week soon, I'm hoping. And so we're very pleased with that. And she's exceptionally thorough, professional, pleasant. It's great. Set somebody up with a job at school. Set someone else with dental work. It's gotten pretty rough since the end of the Valley Dental Project. What I did was I was able to figure out that it was medically necessary. They met the requirements of medical necessary, and I set up an appointment for them to go straight into the nurse practitioner, get the proper form, and hopefully this guy's going to have Steve dealt with. Somebody on disability, in the month they get the disability, guy works his whole life, $700 a month. It's not even an option to go to the dentist. RCMP, I've been calling them, and they've been coming.
Yeah.
I know, I just got to point that out. It's how bizarre. And chairing meetings for Turning the Tides Grant Committee. Also, I've been directed by a few of my constituents that are interested in hosting the Ukrainians. And my personal favorite, I'm going to end this too. I saw somebody with a hornet problem. And 2, I had to explain to someone that Chris Conchemont is not in league with Charles Schwab and the globalists. No, he's not.
Thank you, David.
There, that was what I did keep my calm with the globalists. I guess maybe next year here, I'm in league with Charles Schwab. I shouldn't say that.
Okay, so since our last meeting, I volunteered as fellow days. I also spoke at the opening and closing. I also volunteered at the Warfrat rally and spoke at the opening and closing. I attended the emancipation ceremony where I spoke. I also am working with Efficiency Nova Scotia on the heat pump at the Global Baptist Church for my area. We also, I attended the Atlantic Mayor's Congress. I also, I attended the SWANA conference for Waste Check and the regional chairs, and it was all on the littering and what's happening in the province. I attended a community barbecue at the Logan Baptist Church and helped out with that. Also, we have a rat problem in one of part of my
Digby
district.
does, I saw 3 rats in Digby the other day driving through, sorry, didn't mean
Sorry, and the rat problem it's not only on now one road, but it's on 2, and it's,
I do have an update on that, so it may be solved.
oh, good.
Good.
But it's scary how much of a concern it is. And actually rats around Digby, which is not part of my district, but I had a person call me that a family was living in a place and there's rats and they have a newborn baby.
Oh, I've dealt with that also, Linda.
And I had told them they have to talk to not only the landlord, but to talk to public health, because
Oh, I didn't know about the public health aspect, I didn't think of that.
well, if a rat will attack a
Who's
baby.
bit by the rat?
Because if there's any milk or anything on the
Not the
baby,
baby.
it would be drawn, or even a child. I mean, rats will attack anything. I have been dealing with problems on speeding, on ATVs, on people very unhappy with their neighbors. It's been a very busy summer, and I don't think summer's going to slow down again.
No, I agree.
And that's my report. Is there any questions? And saying that, before we go into in-camera, we usually ask the audience, is there any questions you have on anything we have discussed tonight?
Whoa. Not specifically that I would feel like I was able to bring up right at this moment, but I just wanted to come and sort of see how this proceeded. We just moved to town.
Oh, good.
We have intentions of businesses and other things, and I just wanted to sort of show my face and see some faces and just get an idea of the flow of things.
If you're looking for workers, we got a bunch of Ukrainians.
Cool. All right then. Yeah, that's how they feel about farming. Like,
Well, that's it. Some of them might be.
So,
They're
can I ask where you bought a?
Yeah, we're just up on Lighthouse Road here, 180 Lighthouse. I came in and I got the wellfield protection bylaw all printed out and whatnot. They helped me with that, and the livestock limits and all that kind of jazz. And I have a couple cards for building inspectors and whatnot. So as things proceed, that'll all be things we get into. But like I said, I just sort of wanted to.
Well, we
Yeah,
want to
and I-
welcome you to our community. You're in my district.
Awesome.
I happen to be the counselor of that district.
Cool.
You're welcome to come to any of our committee of the wholes or any of our council meetings. As
What
you
is the
see, we
difference
have
between
lots of people here.
Between like a committee of the whole and this. And
Okay, a committee of the whole is where a lot of the committees, we go over the committee reports and discuss and do questions.
Okay.
And then when we come to council, you're more or less from the meetings making the motions that they can become
Okay.
official.
So would a committee of the whole be where there would be like more sort of debate and discussion, whereas this is
Yes.
more of a
Yes,
a
we've already,
functional.
we've done most
Yes.
of the arguing. There's still a little bit of changing here and there.
Got it.
Maybe some last minute battles about something. But generally it goes well.
Got it. Okay. Perfect.
Sometimes it's last minute battle.
We only bring half the gunpowder.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
Well, I want to thank you for coming, and at this time, we're going to be going in camera, so we have to ask you to leave.
Okay.
Because it's going to be on personnel matters.
Got
We're
it.
only allowed to go in camera on personnel, on legal, contractual, so,
No problem.
She's
Yep.
mentioning that because some municipal councils use it to talk about stuff they don't want anyone to hear about.
Oh, I see.
We
Yeah.
Thanks for,
Yeah,
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night.
So
Nice to
can
meet you
I
all.
have a motion to go into camera, please?
Motion to go into camera.
Is there a seconder?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded?
After you pass.
Motion carried.